living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, do it better than anybody ever seen.
Dives inside and scores! Did he mean to do that? That was awesome. Under. Oh! Spectacular goal!
To have all that power. The clock's ticking. I
put it on fire! Oh my God! He about to be stopped right now. Layup inside. He scores!
Yeah, I was proud of the effort overall by the guys. They really worked hard, and you know, I think anytime you join a new program, I think the cultural changes and so forth are part of a new coaching staff and a new team, new mentality. And I think the guys really have started to buy into that. And year 2 was definitely improvement from year 1. We hope for the same in 2011. So, you know, I think overall it was a great start. You know, I think part of our struggles were the lack of depth, and we're still working on that. And I think that's something that, you know, towards the end of the season, we just got tired and we didn't have a lot of depth to help with some of the injuries. Yeah, I think everybody's anxious for that to happen. From our standpoint, we're very grounded in our own kind of approach and realistic. You know, I think we have some very good talent. I think the depth is growing with a pretty solid freshman class to add to the veteran group, which I think is solid. So I think we're strong in each position. You know, so I think it's a gradual progression, and I think having patience as a coaching staff and certainly as a program has worked well for us. Yeah, Billy's a terrific young man. He's so humble, and you know, he's definitely a leader, more of a silent type leader than he is a vocal guy. But obviously, he's one of the most dynamic players in the country and exciting to watch. Last year, he was injured most of the year. Not a lot of people knew about that. He had a sports hernia very early in the season, and wasn't able to practice. He was just able to play on the weekends, which was tough for him to handle, and certainly from a chemistry standpoint, it was tough. But he is as dynamic a player as I've seen, and certainly we expect him to be 100% this season, and I'm sure he's excited for that as well. I think there were 2 things that we really want to focus on for the 2011 season, and the first thing is playing more people. We want to add to our depth. I think we've been lacking that the last 2 years. Injuries have really sidetracked us, and we haven't had the guys to step in and not fall off too much from some of those injuries. So I think playing more guys and getting experience will help us across the board when we do get banged up a little bit as the season progresses with the schedule that we play. And then the second thing would be managing the season better. I think we've been exhausted by the end of the year, and I think that's something that we've looked at as a staff in trying to manage the season where we get better and stronger towards April and May, as opposed to tapering off and being pretty exhausted. And so those 2 things, I think, you know, I don't know if any side of the ball we're going to struggle at. I think it's a work in progress, and chemistry and so forth will grow throughout the year. I think it's just managing the guys' health and conditioning level, and making sure we're focused and healthy, mind and body, heading in towards April and hopefully in May. Well, I think it's easy for everybody to sit there, and we've done it the first 2 years, is sit back and say, well, what are our goals for the season? And as a team, we've put up the ACC, you know, competing for an ACC championship and a national championship, and that's the expectation, I think, year in and year out. So those are some things that we've tried to step away from and not talk about those, but really focus on December 1st to January 9th. The guys have 6 weeks off. Let's focus on what we can do individually to get ourselves better, stronger, physically, you know, mentally rested in this off season after exams, and come back as, you know, in good a shape as we were, and prepared and ready to go, and then set another set of goals for the next month. And we've tried to take a smaller, more focused approach to what we want to accomplish week to week, as opposed to long-term goals. I think sometimes you put those long-term short-term goals out there, which everybody has the same expectation and mentality, which is great. But we want to try to get better each week, and as I talked about earlier, get stronger as the season progresses. And I think taking a smaller look and setting short-term goals will help us in the long run. So that's the approach we've taken this year, and the guys have really bought into it and are excited about it, and they've really worked hard this fall to maintain their focus on the task at hand as opposed to looking long term.